that he had a blue period, then a rose period, and then he jumbled everything up.
At Rainsford Lower School in Bedfordshire, we'll be looking at 2 classes working on different art projects. Year 3 pupils are creating sculptures which are designed to enhance their local park. And in Year 4, the challenge is on to design a chair for a favourite character. The programme focuses on encouraging pupils to think about the design process and to develop the skills to evaluate their own and others' artwork with confidence, and how using the appropriate vocabulary is crucial to the process of learning to think like an artist.
We decided if we have like bright colours with like blue, orange and red, there would be more standing out. And it'd make the park a bit more exciting.
And just as in science and maths, we're teaching children to think like scientists and mathematicians, and in fact in literacy we're asking them to think like writers, poets, etc.
What's happening with the lines here?
In the art curriculum we're teaching them to think like artists. The very, really important element is that they start to understand things that they haven't understood before. If you can look at a piece of machinery and really look at it, you begin to understand how bits of it relate to each other.
And we want to find out what's in the park already. What interesting shapes are there? What interesting pattern or lines can you see? I want to hear lots of vocabulary, lots of art words we've talked about. Off you go.
It's like a slide twirling round and round in a pump. It's made out of metal and I used to like this swing when I was younger as well. I like the twist of it, I do. I like the oval bit chain because they all link together.
The QCA unit is called Can We Change Places, and it's based on the children looking at a local area, and we chose the park which is next door to the school. They have to think about how they could improve the park by making a sculpture that was relevant.
The learning objectives were to, at the beginning of the unit, were to compare ideas, look at the design of different chairs, and then move on to look at chairs in different cultures. It's part of the QCA scheme of work, Unit 4B, Take a Seat. Now, if you look over here, we've got an art vocabulary. I've already written form and the purpose. What do we mean by purpose?
What it's meant for.
Exactly what it's meant for, okay? The success criteria. You will have discussed one chair in your group and you'll be considering the construction. Now, what do we mean by construction? Let's write construction up here. If you think of any other words, I want you to come and write those up on there, please. Harry, what's construction?
The equipment.
Not quite the equipment. You think you know what construct means, Imogen?
Does it mean how it's built?
Good. How it's built and how it's put together. Good girl, well done. Who could tell me generally what they think about this chair and why you think it's made like this?
It's an ordinary chair to sit on while you're sitting at your desk.
Yeah, so it's a school chair, that's right. Why do you think the chair is nice and light?
When they carry it in the lorry, you can lift it out and people can carry at least 2. Where the school children could carry them.
I think that's the real reason. Good boy. What do you think about this chair if it... Rebecca, what would you think about this chair if it had 3 legs?
It would fall over.
You think it would fall over? Okay, all right, that's interesting.
If it had 3 legs, it would be unstable, and if little children are trying to stand on it to get something higher, they'd probably fall off and they'd hurt themselves.
Okay, so you think the stability would be changed?
Children took their clipboards with them and they were looking for interesting shapes and textures, lines and patterns, and they made sketches of the sections of the play equipment they found interesting, or they made ribbons.
White it looks.
So the lines are arranged in rings or circles. They're getting smaller and smaller. So we call them concentric rings, couldn't we?
Then when back in the classroom, they thought about what was in the park already, and if they were to make a sculpture, would it be something to complement what was there already, or would it contrast with what was there?
Have a look if there are any more clues about what it's been used for. Let's tip it on its side.
Looking at the structure of a chair makes them think about how they are going to design their own chair, the purpose of the chair, the use of the chair, the stability of the chair. All those sorts of things develop their own thinking as an artist for what they're going to do for designing and making their own chair.
Well, we got it off the table to see if it was comfortable or not, and I thought it was comfortable, but it was a bit slippy.
How could that be improved then?
By having armrests.
What's it made of?
Metal, leather, rubber and foam.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think the leather makes it quite slippy?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your opinion of it?
Well, I think it is actually very nice, and it would fit very nicely in a little girl's room.
We all didn't think it was stable because one of the chair legs was a bit far on the left.
Okay, so it wobbled a bit. Any idea why it wasn't stable? Why do you think that was?
Because it was old.
Tell us how you think it could be improved.
Fixing it up, making it stable, paint it brown, varnished, and put some cushion on it.
And put a cushion.
We thought it would be about 40 to 70 years old.
Thank you.
We thought it would be £70 to 100.
We decided we needed to look at sculptures so children had a better understanding of what a sculpture is. So we collected a whole selection of pictures of sculptures and made them into packs for each group. And then the children looked at the sculptures, found ones that they liked and decided why. And they have made a maquette of their sculpture. Some of them are quite large. They've used a whole variety of materials.
What you're going to do now, you're going to go off with your group and you are going to decide where to put your sculpture.
How does your sculpture change the park? It would make the park really a better place to visit. Yeah. The main colours here have been like either white, brown or green, so we decided if we have like bright colours with like blue, orange and red, there would be more standing out. And it'd make the park a bit more exciting.
Explore and experiment is a really valuable approach because the possibilities are endless and they discover things that they would not otherwise discover.
How big would that sculpture be if it was going to be made into a real sculpture?
The size of a house or something.
The size of a house?
About there.
About that
Yeah.
height? Right. That's a good place.
Most of the things are grey, brown and black. And this has red that's quite a light colour. Yeah. So it'll make it show more. And if it was in the real size, then it'll be quite big as well. People will more notice it. I think it should be made out of wood if it's a real one, not metal. Of course, you can't really paint metal very easily. I think it feels us happy because we never thought it would work. We thought that we should paint it because saying if we use lots of different material like felt or different cardboard, we thought it could have fallen off. And felt is very hard to cut.
It's very important to be positive with children, whatever the result. I think a lot of teachers have had a bad experience of art at school, and I think that is the source of some teachers' anxiety, really, about teaching art. You can help them by using the right language. You can be asking them questions.
How does your sculpture affect the park?
Well, this did quite used to be a big area, but now we've put this here, and it was bigger, it would really, really affect the park in this area.
If they have the vocabulary, they have the concept.
Right from the start of the topic, we're very clear in that we make sure we use the correct vocabulary, and it just helps them to aid their discussions with each other, to talk about the environment, and it really helps them to think like an artist in moving their work forwards.
My character is Dr. Dolittle, and likes animals, so I am making an animal chair for him. Well, I've put a dog there and leopard skin for the seats, and his little medical kit. Carries his injections and his medicine.
When we've talked about our characters, we evaluated ideas about what our characters needed. We evaluated throughout by looking at our designs, showing each other our designs, explaining why we've added things to our chairs.
Pablo Picasso, because he's an artist, and I wanted to do an artist because I like doing art. And he was the best person that I could think of, and so I thought it'd be really easy.
It's Jacqueline Wilson, and I'm going to make a chair for her. Well, I've been doing this, and I have a little table for her with a laptop on and a cup of coffee. I'm going to have a lamp which comes from the back of the chair round to the table, which will see where her cup of coffee is and the keys on the laptop.
My character's for David Beckham. I got a little paper ball and I drawn it with felt tip pen. I glued the string to the ball and then I sellotaped it to the chair so that he can kick the ball around while he's sitting down.
Some of the sculptures are more stable than others. Some of the children made quite large maquettes, and we've then got problems then of balancing the sculptures and making sure they were freestanding. And some groups, they had a structure they had made out of cardboard and tape and newspaper, and they layered the mod rock on top. However, they weren't really aware that it was going to make their sculpture very heavy. So we've now got a couple of sculptures that need to be held to stand up. It's also been lots of problem solving for the children, and they've had having to adapt their plans.
Super chairs. Okay, Joshua, can you tell me about your chair? Who it's for and why you made it?
My character is for Bugs Bunny. I adapted it by, instead of using straws, I used pipe cleaners.
Okay, explain what this part of the chair is, could you?
It's a tube for having a drink.
Okay, and what sort of drink is he going to be having?
Carrot flavoured juice.
Shall we check to see whether it's stable or not?
No.
Okay, excellent. It's a carrot on wheels. Whoops, Daisy. I think evaluation is essential, but it is a personal thing. Art's all about how it works for you. It's got to be aesthetically pleasing, but I think you have to feel good about what you do.
Pablo Picasso, he can paint while he's sitting down on his chair. Ray, he's actually made the
easel here, yeah. What do you think it would make Picasso feel?
I think he'd feel happy.